We were taught that life moves in steps. Graduate, marry, buy the apartment, find your calling, become someone worth admiring. Not just as things you do, but as things that are supposed to fix you. After the degree, you'll finally feel capable. After the wedding, you'll finally feel safe. After the baby, you'll finally feel complete. After the job, you'll finally feel legitimate. So you run. You organize your entire inner world around a future version of yourself who finally gets to breathe. You endure years of discomfort because the promise is that later will be lighter, calmer, gentler. Later will be when you stop feeling behind. And then one quiet day, standing inside the life you once begged for, a thought slips in without asking permission. Is this it? Not rage, not heartbreak, just a soft, desperate confusion that you've arrived, and yet nothing inside you feels finished. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. It describes the way your brain adapts to improvements in your life with ruthless efficiency. No matter how dramatic the breakthrough, your nervous system recalibrates what feels normal in a matter of weeks or months. The surge of relief you feel after reaching a milestone doesn't disappear because the milestone was meaningless. It disappears because your mind is designed to conserve emotional energy. Your brain is not a happiness machine. It is a survival machine. It is constantly scanning for threats, gaps, weaknesses, things that still need to be fixed. When a problem is solved, it does not rest. It looks for the next one. So the apartment that once felt like proof you were finally doing okay becomes the place where your anxiety now lives. The job you once fantasized about becomes the benchmark you now fear losing. The relationship milestone that once made you cry with gratitude becomes something you feel pressured to perform well inside. This is not ingratitude. This is adaptation. The treadmill keeps moving even when you want to step off. You don't lose your desire. You lose your memory of what it felt like to want what you now have. And that is why "Is this it?" doesn't show up when life is falling apart. It shows up after improvement, after progress, after you technically succeeded. It is the emotional echo of your nervous system quietly saying, "We survived this. Now what's next?" When I graduated from the conservatoire, I thought I had built something strong enough to carry me. Years of discipline, years of shaping my entire identity around becoming good enough. My worth had a structure: practice, feedback, exams, performances. I always knew what I was working toward. Then one day it ended. My calendar emptied. No one telling me what mattered. No structure holding me upright. Only a quiet loneliness I hadn't prepared for. And the uncomfortable truth that I had even put myself into debt to pursue a career I loved, only to feel strangely irrelevant to it the moment it was officially mine. It felt like I had climbed a mountain, only to realize the air at the top was thinner, not clearer. Perhaps you recognize that hollow space, the moment when the thing you sacrificed everything for no longer needs you to chase it, when the system that held your sense of purpose together suddenly dissolves and you're left to generate meaning on your own. I later got married. The kind of wedding you imagine will rewrite your emotional DNA. It felt like a reward for surviving all the previous years of becoming. And it did change something, briefly. Then the guests left. The decorations were packed away. The photos were posted. Normal life crept back in, almost embarrassed by how quickly it returned. Then what, you might ask? We had a child. Textbook. The next step in the life ladder everyone was expecting. Everything changed. And also, nothing changed. I am deeply grateful. I am profoundly tired. Every day feels monumental and strangely repetitive at the same time. Between feedings, finances, sleep deprivation, and the effort it takes not to emotionally drift apart while operating on broken rest. Another thought emerged. So this is adulthood. Maintaining systems, coordinating schedules, calculating budgets, trying to stay tender in a culture that sells a better life with the urgency of a clearance sale. The treadmill does not stop just because your life gets fuller. It speeds up. More responsibility means more to manage, more to lose, more to get wrong. You don't just move into a better life. You move into a more complex one. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." We think poverty is about money. He was talking about peace. My ideal future was never really about comfort. It was about relief. Relief from feeling late to my own life, from envying others, from the ache of never quite being enough. I don't chase success. I chase permission to stop proving myself. Ambition is a beautiful disguise. As long as you're striving, nobody questions your exhaustion. Productivity makes pain look respectable. Even making these videos, there is a fragile hope beneath the work, that if I can make others feel understood, maybe I will finally feel understood too. Which is my slightly awkward, honest way of saying, if this video meant something to you, you're allowed to subscribe. Not for the numbers, but because being witnessed makes this strange effort feel real. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself." And yet we keep asking from better homes and better lives, is this it? Enough is not a finish line. It is not a promotion or a ring or a milestone photograph. Enough is a practice, a fragile, rebellious decision to stand inside the life you already fought for and allow it to be real before you try to improve it. Not forever, just today. Because if you cannot feel enough here, inside the life you once begged for, no future version of it will ever save you.